In the cracks of your driveway, along the edge of your garden bed, a plant is growing right now with leaves soft enough to eat raw tonight. Drop them in a bowl, and they taste like a mild, tender lettuce, a little green, a little sweet. But here is the part that should stop you. Those same leaves carry 10 to 20 times the vitamin C of the pale lettuce sitting in your refrigerator. They hold calcium, iron, potassium, and beta-carotene that supermarket lettuce barely contains at all. This is not a rare herb from some mountainside in Asia. It grows on 6 continents, in vacant lots, sidewalk seams, and old pastures. It has fed people for more than 2,000 years. So why have you almost certainly never tasted it? Because a long time ago, someone gave this plant a name, and that name was built to keep it off your plate. Welcome to nature's lost vault. The name is Thistle. Say it out loud, and you can hear the 2 lies packed inside it. The first lie is thistle. A thistle is armored and spiny, the kind of plant you would never bring near a salad bowl. But the common sow thistle has no real spines at all. Its leaves are thin and soft, closer to a young lettuce than to anything prickly. It only borrowed the look of a thistle when it was very young, and the name stuck. The second lie is the sow, as in a mother pig. Centuries ago, farmers noticed the plant oozed a white, milky sap when you snapped the stem. By the logic of the time, white sap meant milk, so they fed it to nursing sows to help them along. A plant for pigs, shaped like a thorn. Put those 2 ideas together, and you have built the perfect fence. Nobody reaches for pig food that looks like it will cut them, and that, more than any spray or any law, is how a first-rate vegetable slipped off the American table. But the name hides something worth knowing. So thistle, Sonchus oleraceus, is not a thistle at all. It sits in the exact same family as the dandelion and wild lettuce. If you know those 2, you already half know this one. It grows a rosette of soft, deeply cut leaves close to the ground, then sends up a hollow stem that can reach 3 or 4 feet, topped with small yellow flowers that look like a shrunken dandelion. Snap that stem, and you get the same milky sap. The genus name, Sonchus, is simply the old Greek word for hollow. Botanists in ancient Greece named it for the stem, not for the pig. Somewhere between Athens and your lawn, the plant kept its body and lost its good name. And the detail almost everyone misses is what those soft leaves are actually made of. The lettuce most Americans buy, the crisp, pale iceberg head, is about 96% water. 100 grams of it gives you barely 2 or 3 milligrams of vitamin C and a whisper of iron. The same weight of young SOW thistle leaves gives you 30 to 40 milligrams of vitamin C, sometimes more, along with real amounts of calcium, magnesium, iron, potassium, and zinc. It carries vitamin A as beta-carotene, several of the B vitamins, and vitamin K on top of that. Think about that for a second. We ship pale, watery lettuce across the country in refrigerated trucks. We bag it, we brand it, we sell it. Meanwhile, a plant many times more nourishing is growing for free in the gap between the sidewalk and the fence, and we spend real money trying to kill it. None of this is new knowledge that we just uncovered. It is old knowledge that we set down and walked away from. 2,000 years ago, the Greek physician Dioscorides described 2 kinds of sow thistle. One rougher, one tender and good to eat. The Greeks put it in their winter salads, and they still do. But the story that says the most is older and stranger than a salad. The Roman writer Pliny recorded a legend about Theseus, the hero sent out to face the bull of Marathon. On his way to the fight, a storm drove him to the hut of an old woman named Hecale. Before he went to meet the beast, she fed him a dish of cooked sow thistle to give him strength. Whether or not a hero ever ate it, notice what the story takes for granted. It assumes that everyone hearing it already understood sow thistle as strengthening food. The thing you eat before the hardest day of your life. That is the reputation the name covered over. Pay attention to that gap, because it explains everything that came next. The rest of the world, meanwhile, never stopped eating it. When European ships carried sow thistle to New Zealand, the Maori tasted it and folded it straight into their own cooking, right alongside a native green they already prized. They call it puha. To this day, it goes into the pot with pork and potatoes in a dish that shows up at ordinary family dinners and at funerals alike. You would recognize the impulse. It is exactly what your own grandparents did with whatever grew in the yard, back before the grocery store taught us that food only comes wrapped in plastic. In southern Italy, farmers whose fields are invaded by it do the sensible thing. They pick it and serve it with pasta. In China, it carries a name that translates to bitter vegetable, and it has been eaten for centuries. In Greece, in Mexico, across Turkey and the Middle East, it simply stayed food. You did not lose this plant because it stopped being good. You lost it because of what happened on one particular continent. So what happened here that did not happen there? Two things, and neither one is a conspiracy. The first is money, and it is the ordinary kind of money. In the 20th century, American agriculture learned to grow a lettuce built not for your body, but for the truck. Iceberg is bred to be heavy, uniform, and tough enough to survive a cross-country haul and a week on a shelf. It is mostly water, and water ships beautifully and sells by the pound. A wild green that wilts in a day, that cannot be patented or planted in tidy rows, had no place in that commercial system. The second thing is the law. Because sow thistle spreads on its own and crowds farm crops, its tougher cousin, the perennial sow thistle, landed on official lists of noxious plants. In Colorado, it sits on a list that orders landowners to remove it from every acre in the state. In Iowa, the weed statute lets a county start its own program to destroy it and then send the property owner the bill. Canada ranks it as primary noxious, so a green that ancient Greeks ate for strength became, on paper, a thing you can be legally required to kill. Nobody in a back room planned that. It is simply what happens when a plant is worth nothing to sell and something to spray. Now let me tell you how to take it back. Because it could not be simpler. Learn the plant first. Look for a rosette of soft, jagged leaves in a bluish green, growing flat before it bolts upward. The stem is hollow and bleeds white when you break it. The flowers are small and yellow, like a half-size dandelion, and the seed heads drift off in little white puffs. The common sow thistle you want has soft edges you can run a finger along without getting caught. Its pricklier cousins are still edible, but if a leaf fights back, it is old. And old leaves you simply cook until the bitterness melts away. Pick young, pick in spring, and pick from clean ground. Never the sprayed edge of a road or a treated lawn. In much of the country, it germinates in both fall and spring, so tender rosettes keep turning up over a long stretch of the year, not just for a week or two. Eat the tender young leaves raw, torn into a salad, where they taste like a greener, livelier lettuce. Cook the older ones down like spinach, with garlic and a little olive oil, the way half the Mediterranean still does. Peel and steam the young stems like a slim asparagus. The young roots are worth cooking too, handled like any other root vegetable. And if a plant goes to seed in a quiet corner of your yard, let one stand. A single sow thistle throws thousands of seeds on the wind, which is exactly why the law fears it, and exactly why you will never struggle to find it again. The plant never changed. Only the name did its quiet work, for so long that we forgot there was anything underneath it. An old woman once served this to a hero before the hardest fight of his life, and somewhere along the way we turned it into an insult and a line on an eradication order. It is still out there, in the seam of your own driveway, soft and green and waiting, worth more than the lettuce you paid for. If this vault changed how you see the plants in your own backyard, subscribe to Nature's Lost Vault. The next vault opens soon.